Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
First of all, happy birthday, Dallas Braden. Yeah. Woo. Yay. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. Yeah. All the grave diggers out there wishing Dallas Braden a happy birthday. He made it. Another trip around the sun. He won't take for granted that a Major League Baseball team wished him a happy birthday. Not really a Major League Baseball team, but some would say they're on the website. They're one of the 30.
Absolutely a team. Mm-hmm. Absolutely a unified front.
They are a team. They are a team. They wish Dallas Braden a happy birthday. What is it, 45?
Nope, not even close.
Okay.
Not even close, but I am officially out of my 30s.
Wow. How's that feel?
Yeah, the big 4-0. The big 4. I feel great. I feel like a 21-year-old stud, like I said, Jared. Just a 21-year-old stallion, full of energy, full of life, you know? And the best part about birthdays, Jay and I were talking about this a little earlier. Best part about birthdays, Jay, is so hey, are you be careful there. But it's the messages, you know, it's the folks that are reaching out, and I got a great message, some great exchanges. I tell you, like I said, it's almost like you don't want me to tell the story. I mean, I can shift gears if you'd like.
What do you mean? What story?
Yeah, I mean, I'd fly my guy down here to do me sometimes. I was reached out to by again, I've got an incredible relationship with a lot of the ladies who are listeners of our podcast. I'm attracted to a lot of different guys, and that doesn't keep me from connecting with the women on our podcast or the listeners of our podcast.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Jared, there's one young lady who has continued to warm my bosom throughout the years.
Yeah.
And, well, let me just tell you how this exchange went. Happy birthday, Dallas. Birthday emoji.
She sounds like.
Heart.
That's what she sounds like.
I said, thanks, Ellen. Can't believe I've made it to 40. And she said, are you really? Question mark? Well, happy 40th! Exclamation point! She
thought that you were 50. That's why she said.
I said, I'll take that as a compliment. I've got the energy of a 21-year-old! Exclamation point. And she said, it's absolutely a compliment! Exclamation point. Followed up with, oh, and I know that firsthand. Smiley face. And I
think that's because she meant like you're a loudmouth dickhead is what she meant.
No. I mean, again, Jared, that might be.
Name like the most annoying group of people.
21-year-olds.
Like they just got their driver's license to turn the other way. They're allowed to drink now.
I think that's what you might want to think it is.
Fucking annoying. That's what.
But our relationship is built on so many more things, Jared. So many more emotions for it to be that simplistic. So, but it was a beautiful exchange. One of the many that I enjoyed. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And isn't it might be a pinned tweet later. Because it's one of those messages that moves you. You know.
You didn't even wish me a happy birthday.
Yeah, that's false.
No, it's not.
No, I'm pretty sure I wished you a happy birthday.
Not this year.
I don't believe that. We can go. I'll digitally. There's a record of that.
Yeah, there is. I don't think you did.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm throwing the challenge flag. We want to make a bet on it?
Absolutely.
All right, jersey bet.
Yeah, done.
All right. If Dallas Braden cannot come forth with evidence
that I acknowledged your birthday,
that he wished me a happy birthday this year, then he owes me a jersey. And Joey owes me a jersey that I'm giving to Jay. So there's a lot of jersey exchanges happening on this podcast. But I don't think you did.
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't think that's something that I would overlook. If it was brought to my attention, I don't think it's something I would overlook.
So you don't know my birthday then? Brought to your attention. It has to be brought to your attention. You don't know my birthday?
I don't have Facebook, Jared.
I mean, I was born on opening day. It's pretty easy to remember.
I mean, opening day changes, right? We had March 30th.
I was born on the day that Ken Griffey Jr. made his big league debut.
We had March 3rd, April 4th?
April 3rd, 1989.
Sorry. The literal one day off. I was one day off. The literal one day off. And I didn't even give birth to you. It was your mother who gave birth to you. Just in the room.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's 2 free jerseys for me from
We'll
people
see
on this podcast.
We'll see. I'm pretty confident. You
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You want to get to some weekend storylines?
I'd love to get to some weekend storylines.
Would you?
I would. I mean, I might get lambasted for my weekend storyline, but Jay, hey, turn your head. But there is a new dawn on the horizon.
Oh God.
For the Athletics.
All right. Please don't start there. Anyway, this episode is sponsored by Knockaround Sunglasses. Quality polarized, affordable shades, including the new MLB and U.S. women's soccer team pairs. Check them out at knockaround.com. I'm just gonna who wants to go first? Does anyone want to go first? Jay Hay wants to go first. Okay. Good to know. Jay Hay wants to go first. As always, the weekend headlines brought to you by DirecTV, home to the most local MLB games. Justin Havens has volunteered to go first. What stood out to you the most over the weekend, Jay Hay?
It's the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay.
I've been a fool plenty of times over the 2023 season for takes or observations, and there's nothing I feel dumber about than not picking the Dodgers to win the NL West at the start of the season. Because that one was a totally unforced error on anybody who didn't pick the Dodgers. And it's not so much that they completed a 4-game sweep of the Rockies since the last time that we talked, although that doesn't hurt. They allowed 6 total runs in 4 games. It's not that they are 23-12 against the NL West and have won 8 straight against that division, not just against the Rockies, but also the DBacks and the Padres. They're 8.5 games up on the division, so that's over now. The NL West is the Dodgers yet again, and it is August 14th, so it really wasn't even dramatic. They are up to number 2 in World Series equity, odds to win at 16% per Fangraphs. That's behind only the Braves now. They're clearly the number 2 team, according to that, well ahead of the Astros and Rays and Rangers and also all of that. And specifically about what happened since the last time that we podcast, it's the pitching. And it's the people doing the pitching that I think is important for this team moving forward. Yeah, so Urias was the most recent one, obviously. In 3 August starts now, he's up to 18 innings pitched with only 11 hits and 3 earned runs allowed and 22 strikeouts to only 2 walks. So a lot of people had him as like a potential Cy Young candidate entering the season. It's been kind of a rocky up and down season. He looks like he might be hitting his form at exactly the right time. They got Kershaw back on Thursday. He made his first start since late June. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Pretty typical stuff there, but good to have him back. And then maybe the most interesting is something that we talked about on this podcast and, suggested was a real possibility, which is that Lance Lynn looked like a totally different pitcher once he got to the Dodgers, and Lance Lynn looks like a totally different pitcher now that he's with the Dodgers. 18 innings pitched, 13 hits, only 4 earned runs, a 22-4 strikeout to walk ratio in those 18 innings, and that included his first start without a home run allowed since the last time we podcasted. So it's the Dodgers. They're, to me, we can debate whether they are as good as some of the peak Dodgers teams of the last last decade or whatever, but relative to the rest of the league, they may very well be as dangerous to win the World Series as they've ever been. And I feel very silly for picking against them. That's what stood out.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily silly though to pick against them when you think about Kershaw being a guy that was going to miss time. You're coming into the season with no Walker Buehler. You've got Dustin May on the shelf. So there were questions around how they were going to be able to fill the holes and whether or not they were going to be able to get a performance like they have gotten from Urias up to this point. And so I'm with you because it just feels like the Padres have continued to linger and tease you when you start the season anew and it's fresh and it's 0-0 across the board. Everybody's in first place. You'd like to think that at some point in time, that team is going to get their shit together. And it just never happened. And the Dodgers just continue to do what organizations that can create their own depth and create their own resources do. And that's get to a point where you just keep plugging along and kicking the piss out of everybody.
Did anyone pick the Dodgers? I feel like, so to Jay Hayes' point, like Joey picked the Dodgers. Okay.
Easily.
Fair. Easily. I think on the other side of things, right, after what the Padres did this past offseason, if the shoe was on the other foot and we all picked the Dodgers because of history and not the Padres because of, for whatever reasons, if the Padres were 8.5 games up right now and we all had the Dodgers, we would all be sitting here being like, man, I feel really stupid for not picking the Padres. Like, how did we not see it after the offseason that they had and all that? Like, why didn't we buy into that? So, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, like the Dodgers are just, they're a been there, done that type team. You know what? I'm going to go next. Because there's one individual that certainly deserves a lot of credit for. Dallas had one good day of work. This individual had 20 minutes worth of good work, but it was something to behold if you were watching it live.
Said Mully.
And the pitch home. In on line to center field and deep. Mullins is back. He's at the wall. He leaps. And Cedric made the catch. He did it. He did the impossible. Cedric Mullins took the game-tying home run away from Ty France.
This was in the 9th inning to take away the game-tying home run in the 9th. And then he comes up in the 10th in a tie game, 3-3, and does this.
And Mullins drives this one into right field. That's a fair ball. That is deep. That is out of here. Cedric Mullins robs a home run. Cedric Mullins hits a home run. And the Orioles are back in front.
You kidding me? Cedric this is probably the greatest 2 half innings I've ever seen a player have. He brings a home run back, hits one foul, and then comes back and hits a 2-run homer to give the Orioles a 2-run lead.
That's the type of game that has like the 55-year-old dudes being like, all right, so explain war to me. Because if that's not one win, I don't get the stat. Okay? He robbed a home run. He hit a home run. He won the game. That's one win. How is that not worth one win? I don't get it. That's the type of game where people get really confused about wins above replacement.
Said, I mean, hey, plus minus. It's simple math.
Yeah.
It's simple math.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's simple math.
But that's a big win for the O's. They needed it. They needed it after the Kevin Brown stuff. I guess we can kind of parlay that into a Kevin Brown discussion because that also happened over the weekend. I don't know what your guys' thoughts were on the Kevin Brown statement, but it certainly read as though he had a gun to his head at the time. It kind of undid all of the support that he got. Here it is. O's fans, I'm a storyteller and never want to be a part of the story. The most compelling story in baseball right now is the story of the league leading Baltimore Orioles, the best, most exciting young team in the American League. Unfortunately, recent media reports have mischaracterized my relationship with my adopted hometown Orioles. The fact is, I have a wonderful relationship with the organization, and our ownership and front office has fully supported me since 2019 when I first came aboard. I ask that everyone disregard the distracting noise of the past few days. I have worked closely with O's SVP Greg Bader for the past 4 years, and John Angelos and I have a solid dialogue based on mutual respect. We are all good here in Birdland. I am proud to be an Oriole and call Baltimore home, and there is no place in baseball I'd rather be now and for the long haul. Go O's.
Holy shit.
So I mean,
I've never been more concerned for Kevin Brown.
Right? Like, I mean, clearly, this is just like hey, please, dude. Like, we'll give you a $50K bump if you just put out a statement saying that everything's all good and this is just a big misunderstanding. Sure, no problem. Like that statement. Under no circumstances is that genuine from the heart or the truth. Like now, all the broadcasters that went out on a limb on their own baseball broadcast, they were like, hey, this is fucking bullshit. Like the Orioles are treating Kevin Brown. It's unacceptable. It's unnecessary. It's embarrassing for that organization. I can't believe that they would do this. They're acting like a dictatorship. And then because of the groundswell of support that Kevin Brown got from all fans and broadcasters alike, he's reinstated. I mean, he was suspended indefinitely for essentially doing nothing. But then he gets brought back. And not only does he get brought back, but he comes back with this statement that, I don't know, was probably prepared by someone at like a PR firm or something. And it's to take the heat off of the Orioles. But like, no one's going to buy that. Like, I don't know what PR firm said thumbs up to this, but shame on that person for not having the sense or the feel to realize that all this statement does is make people angrier, because you're asking the dude that you unjustly suspended to now be a human shield for you.
What would you actually have Kevin Brown do?
Fuck the Orioles. I quit. You fucking
See, because Joey, no, let's just seriously, let's think about this. I don't hear anybody clamoring for reasons why Kevin Brown didn't go scorched earth. I don't hear anybody clamoring for Kevin Brown to go scorched earth. Like, what is it? Because there's a simple understanding that if he were to do something like that, his job and his livelihood would be in very real jeopardy. And who would do that? Like, is he allowed that grace? Like, is there a level of understanding here that we just blow past when contextualizing his situation? Like, what would you have to do? Like, if he's, and I'm not saying that, I'm not taking away from anything you guys have said about, whether it's genuine or not, or I'm saying after he has the discussions with whomever he has those discussions with, and it goes how it goes, and this is what they landed on, what would you then have Kevin Brown do? Look at them and go, no, I'm not doing this. And then them go, okay, well then we're moving on. And at the end of the day, what would Kevin Brown do? Tweet that and get everybody's likes and retweets, and then wake up the next day looking for a different way to provide for his family? Because, I mean, he got the adoration and the approval of everybody that wants to tell the ownership group or whomever's responsible for this decision to piss off, right? So they get to like and then what? Well, then nothing. And now Kevin Brown is a folk hero for telling his boss to get bent and then losing his job.
It would be risky, but that might pay off. I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. But if he would have said, fuck the Orioles, I think he might get a job at ESPN or something cool. Because he'd be such a legend. He'd be lived forever. People were going to forget Kevin Brown. Not forget him, but like, this is his spot. He could have went WWE and said, fuck all you guys, and then rolled the dice. I think that might have paid off. It would have been a risk. But it would have been a risk. Would have been definitely a big risk.
I completely agree with Dallas's point. I think Kevin Brown looked at his how much money the support that he was getting nationally was putting into his bank account, and how much the Baltimore Orioles and Masson were currently putting into his bank account, and decided that one of those figures was a lot larger and a lot more guaranteed than the other ones. And I actually kind of disagree with the idea that this inflames the situation. I think this is a ridiculously hollow statement, and we're all on the same page there. I think we've correctly read it as forced and all of that. I actually think, despite that, I'm more inclined to move on now, because I think it's just a permanent black mark on the Orioles who executed the suspension. And I think Kevin Brown, fairly or unfairly, has communicated that his interest in litigating this situation, quote unquote, is over. And so, like, what else is there to say about it other than the Orioles look like jackasses? they look like jackasses for this statement too. But where do you go from there with it? Like, I just don't. Yes, it makes some people angrier, but I also think it's just like once you get past that initial wave of second anger, it's just like, okay, well, now that's over, and that booth, that situation is just kind of silly in a lot of ways. Like, that whole situation is silly and laughable, and he's just going to go on doing that job, and it's probably because he wouldn't have gotten another job or immediately or at all if he had gone scorched earth.
Yeah, it's almost like that would have been just a really dumb idea.
Well, the Mets guy
And he
said that all
understood
29 teams wanted him. That's what the Mets guy said. Gary Cohen. I guess that wasn't true. But do you think he's really having conversations with the owner, like in that statement? I'm having a dialogue with Mr. Angelos.
Oh,
there's absolutely there. If he's not speaking directly to that individual, I would believe, or whomever is the one that's making these final decisions. If it's a group of the Angeloses, I mean, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend like I know how they run business, but there is absolutely direct communication either between him or the camp and whoever's represent. Yes.
Because I do think I feel like this is giving him more leverage where if he was to be kind of like, I'm not going to read this statement and they fired him, it's just going to make things 10 times worse for the Orioles.
Yeah. But again, where does Kevin Brown land at the end of all that? Great. Now here's then to Jay Hayes' point, like the idea of being so far removed from public opinion where it affects you in your daily life, like, CEOs and owners of, gajillion dollar companies, and like they're to a man, they are unaffected by the social goings on. They're, you know what I mean? I don't want to call them uncancelable, but like the idea of social media taking them down and getting in the way of how they were, like, that's not a thing for them. They don't care about your opinion. No.
Seems like they do. If they're telling him he can't read off a fucking stat that says they lost 10 games in a row, or 10 series in a row, it seems like it kind of does, in some ways, grinds the gears.
No, my point is folks are more than willing to control that narrative publicly and not care that you have an opinion about it. And they'll do what optically needs to be done to just move on. And they're unaffected.
Also, the reality is that there are 30 MLB broadcasting jobs, basically, right? And while it's nice
30.
for the Mets broadcast to say that every team would want Kevin Brown, I think it's equally likely that no ownership group or who's ever overseeing the adjacent broadcast unit would necessarily go through the prickly nature of hiring a guy who ruffled one of the other 30 teams if they have a candidate who's maybe 85 or 90% as good as Kevin Brown. I think that's a risk that Kevin Brown would be assuming, and it would be a big risk if he did go down that path, which isn't to call into question his talent or whether that's right, but I think that's a practical nature when you have a very contained like market, basically, which is what Major League Baseball announcing and sports announcing.
Yeah, remember, there's no union. There's no union for broadcasters. Doesn't work that way.
Let's start one.
Let's start one.
It starts now, Dallas. We got to come together, bro. You got to fucking text Kevin Brown. Dude, I'm going to say some shit on the broadcast tonight, but you got to have my back, man, and we're going to quit together. And
yeah. We'll be calling fucking badminton games in New Hampshire.
What's that? That's fun.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the badminton scene is generating a lot of run in New Hampshire. Right
Pickleball is popping off in New England.
Yeah.
What, really? I mean, you guys get to play sports like 3 months out of the year outside.
Inside, dude. You ever heard of a dome?
Yeah, pickleball inside, little indoor pickleball, I guess. I mean,
there's indoor, there's outdoor. It's all pickleball's all the rage these days. I haven't played it, but I hear these things.
I would just want to do pickleball outside. Pickleball inside. Let's play racquetball inside.
Yeah. I actually have a second story that I wanted to talk about. Not to hog the weekend headlines or anything, but I don't know. There's a game yesterday that I couldn't not discuss.
3-2 again. Downs up the middle. Nets win. Nets win. The scrappy Nets have done it again.
They've done it again. The scrappy Nets. Down 5 in the bottom of the 9th. They score 6 runs
in the bottom of the 9th.
6 runs.
And Jeter Downs his first hit as a National.
First hit as
wins
a National.
the ball game here today.
Former Red Sox prospect Jeter Downs with the dagger in DC. What a game that was. Holy shit.
What a series.
What a series.
Why are you watching a Nats game?
Jeter Downs, dude. Former Red Sox prospect Jeter Downs.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nats 2019 World Series champs. That's a big game. That's a big game on a Sunday.
It was a game on a Sunday. It was a game on a Sunday. It was a game on a Sunday.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now, the cough button, they're gonna need a new one in DC.
Can you speaking of baseball broadcasting, can you take us through the 9th? Like your emotions? What were you feeling up there?
Well, I said it right as soon as I could feel the snowball start to work its way down the hill. I said, one thing you have to be aware of, you have to remember, whether you believe it or not, you're bringing in high leverage arms late in the ball game without the leverage attached to it. Sometimes things do not just go the way you'd like them to go.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, I started to paint the picture how, there's a difference. Like any spring training game you get in is just not going to feel the same, even as a regular season ball game in the late summer, even if you don't have much to play for in terms of a division race or postseason berth or blah. Said those outings just feel different. The last 3 outs, I went into what we all understand about the 9th inning, and it just continued. That snowball continued to roll downhill. There was nobody that was melting the snowball.
6-run 9th. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the Yankees were winning 7-3 in the bottom of the 9th, but it's no 6-run 9th.
It's tough. It was tough.
Only 5 for them.
No, call them the scrappy Nats for nothing, man.
Right.
This is a
scrappy
team.
Marlins, too.
2-1. That is gonna do it. Jake Berger is the hero. The Marlins come all the way back. 8-7. It's a Marlins win.
I mean, good thing the Yankees sold at the trade deadline, because they would look like fucking idiots if they were like, let's go for it, dude. That would be embarrassing.
Now we ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
what's their run differential? It's got to be like 0.
The Yankees?
Yeah.
Are they? Well, I mean, you guys are still the one. No, I think they're like, I honestly think they're
plus
like +1 or 2.
+1. +1.
I was going to say, you guys are still the only division in baseball that has everybody in the positive. Yeah.
Yeah. They are +1. So they're going to be ruining it for everybody. We're trying to have the best division of all time, and then you get the garbage ass Yankees with a +1 run differential. It's embarrassing. Joseph, what was the story that stood out to you over the weekend?
To me, I we talked about the Dodgers and that division, but the series between the Diamondbacks and the Padres was, I mean, the Diamondbacks, they lost 9 in a row, and to break that streak against the Padres kind of just makes both those teams look really bad, like, because I mean, the Diamondbacks have been on a freaking, I mean, they're 7-20 since the All-Star break. I think people have kind of just like tuned them out and not said like, what the fuck, like, guys, we thought we had something here, but the snakes got cold, and to have them get back against the Padres, another team that's been so disappointing, is just kind of like, not good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, what are they back? They're only back in terms of being within striking distance of the wild card.
No, they're
right?
not.
I mean,
they're not back.
That's their
They're
back.
12
they're
and a half back of the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
I was just
That's
going to say
crazy.
they're 2 weeks out of first place. Like
Well,
they're not.
They're
back.
2.5 back in the wild card.
Wild
They're
card conversation. We can have
they're
that
out.
conversation.
They're eligible, but to say the Diamondbacks are back, they got to get more back. They did have sick jerseys. I like the jerseys they were wearing with the purple snakes. That was cool. I think that, helped them get back, but also playing the Padres, who refused to get back. Two
They gotta
teams
get
that
more back.
these two teams are not back. And, we're telling how good the Dodgers are. The Dodgers are really good. They're killing it. But like to get an 8.5 lead like this, there was a lot of losing that had to happen between the Padres and the Diamondbacks, who are just disappointing me. And I like good baseball. When I don't see good baseball, I get pissed off, and I see something like that, and I need to bring it up and hold people accountable. I don't know what is happening.
When I don't see good baseball, I get pissed off. It's very relatable. Dallas?
You might want to bash what happened yesterday in wherever the hell we were.
DC?
I don't care. That's fine. There's a lot of A's fans who do listen to what we talk about here.
Yeah, no.
And they
large contingency of A's fans.
And they should know that it is a very exciting time to watch guys like Lawrence Butler come up and just start to give you glimpses of what the future looks like. That, though, has largely occurred because of what Zach Geloff has done since his arrival in the big leagues. Just had his first multi-homer big league game. That's awesome. He's had, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, he's had over 200 people, like friends, family, and shit, following him around in DC because he's from Delaware, and he legit had like 3 sections worth of fans. So when he's fucking blasting balls out of the ballpark, there's like a massive group of people that are just losing their mind. But watching the impact that he has had on just a young group of players, I think you're starting to see their personalities come out, and it really shine through even in a horrible series sweep. Because there's no doubt about it, you could have won each and every one of those games, and you ended up losing each and every one of those games. But the exciting part is watching Zach Geloff enhance the game of a guy like Nick Allen, watching Law Dog come up, Lawrence Butler, his first big league knock, double off the left center field wall. It was fucking 110 miles an hour off the bat, almost hit it through the wall. That dude's going to be a beast. So I'm excited about that. That was my storyline. Even in a shitty series sweep, I was still able to see the light.
Is Law Dog his real nickname?
Law Dog.
I
didn't
know if that was off the cuff. If that
What,
really
you been living under a rock, Jay? Hey, what the crap?
I want to make sure that was
You didn't know Law
Clubhouse authenticated, or if that was just off the cuff.
You
know,
don't
from
know
Dallas.
Law Dog? Jeez, dude.
Yeah, no, that's my bad.
You might.
Can I
That's
go
my
back?
bad.
Can I react to Joey's quickly though?
Please.
Because like I know we gave the Reds a lot of attention for not upgrading their pitching, their starting pitching primarily, and the Orioles added Flaherty, and was that enough, et cetera, et cetera. I just think what the Diamondbacks didn't do was as disappointing as arguably any like nominal fringe contender team didn't do, because their need, at least one of their needs, was super apparent and has remained super apparent since that point. And they just didn't do anything to do it. Their rotation is entirely too reliant on Zach Gallen primarily and Merrill Kelly secondarily. The other people who have soaked up the most starts in this rotation have been like uniformly terrible this season. That list includes, but not limited to, Ryan Nelson, Tommy Henry, Zach Davies, and Madison Bumgarner, to name a few from earlier in the season. But like those 3, 4, 5 spots in the rotation, and 6 and 7 have been a disaster, and it doesn't really look like immediate help is on the way. So I just think that was disappointing. I know the Reds are sexier, but this team has Corbin Carroll. He's a franchise caliber player. They have a frontline caliber, borderline, maybe even Cy Young caliber pitcher in Zach Gallen, and sat on their hands.
What makes that even more interesting is that they actually did make moves, just not for their rotation. They got Tommy Pham.
Sorry, you're right.
Who's hitting third, and they got Seawald. So it's like they got guys, but not, I guess, definitely not the right guys.
Yeah, and
they probably wish they had Bumgarner right now.
And with all due respect to Tommy Pham, like the short side of a platoon, kind of corner outfielder, that is definitely a move. But I think they needed to do something with a little bit more thump, and I think it needed to come in the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy Pham's having a great year, but when I saw him batting third, it's like I'm kind of like, oof, that's kind of a bad, sign.
They're trying to tap into that good year.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Joe didn't go the absolute demolishing beatdown of the New York Mets this past weekend.
What? They crushed us yesterday. I mean, I think people are kind of, writing off the Mets right now, it seems like. And but that ball club I saw last night on Sunday Night Baseball, and the bright lights to come through.
What was Saturday? Game 1, 21-3?
Yeah. Like I said, it was a day game. It wasn't the bright lights, doubleheader. It could be tough to, wake up early, 1 o'clock game. Well, let's just focus on Sunday. They won.
Yeah, they did win.
They padded their lead. Now they're a half game up on the Nats for 4th place. So moving forward, I think the Mets are feeling good. Good about their chances.
Yeah, we could also talk about Matt Olson just absolutely fucking blasting baseballs.
Yeah. What is he up to? 43?
43 leads Major League Baseball. What he hit 2 in one game the other day, right?
He hit 2 on Saturday. Yeah. Hit another one for good measure. And the one that he hit last night, that made it a 1-run game, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that made it a 1-run game. Either 3 or 4 home runs over the weekend.
3 home runs this weekend.
Crazy.
6 RBIs, 4 walks, and a freaking 7 hits.
Damn. So you don't miss Freddie Freeman at all now.
I mean, hey, I don't miss him, man. But it's crazy to think because Freddie's having like an MVP caliber season, and you see that, and you're, you see him do that, and you're like, damn, man, we had Freddie back, and then your brain does who do we have now? Oh, Matt Olson, the guy who leads the league in homers. So it's like, hey, we replaced him with a great guy. Thank God for Matty O, because if we replace Freddie with like pretty much any first baseman in the league right now, I would be like, fuck, like what if we had Freddie? But thank God for Matt Olson.
Thank God for Matt Olson. I can't think of another example in the game of baseball where a team has traded or lost a player in free agency and immediately replaced them with someone that was like just as good, if not better.
Well, I mean, we can look no further than Mr. Pena winning the fucking ALCS MVP and then the World Series MVP after Carlos Correa left. No, for sure. But that happened the second year after Correa left. This is, we're talking about Correa leaving town when Correa signed for $1 billion worth of contracts and didn't play for any of them. And Pena slid in and was like, yo, I can be that dude. I got that dog in me.
Yeah. I guess that's probably like the closest example, but it's still not a perfect example because they both suck this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, but just the fact that both players, one leaves and he's still doing his thing, and then the guy that comes in allows you to almost forget about the other dude who's having an MVP fucking caliber season. Yeah. Like that doesn't happen a lot.
If the Red Sox replaced Mookie Betts with Julio Rodriguez, it still wouldn't be a perfect example because like of the down year that J-Rod's had.
Right. But I mean, they replaced him with Alex Verdugo.
Ooh, I have one maybe.
Jay?
It's not perfect because I would argue neither of the players are quite as good as either of these guys are playing right now. But when the Phillies signed and then moved Jim Thome to make room for Ryan Howard.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's right there. They got the Astros example, you got the Braves examples, and the Phillies examples, the 3 best franchises in the history of Major League Baseball.
Wow.
We
It's
just
all
do
about
it
them
different.
fills, boy. It's all about the DraftKings parlay too that we do here with Baseball's Dead. Dallas, this is for you. Actually, you know what? You can probably help me on this one. A bantamweight battle for the belt is going down during UFC 292. What is Sterling's first name? Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley will fight
Sugar
for the
Sean,
title
baby. Sugar
this
Sean.
Saturday. Will the current champ keep his crown, or is it the challenger's time to shine? Get your bets in on the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New customers can bet just $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Dallas, who do you like in this fight?
Fuck, man. I mean, Aljamain is an absolute beast. He's high level. Although Sugar Sean has been talking about the work he's been putting in. I just watched him fucking choke out Takanori Gomi guillotine in a no-gi match. So, I mean, Sugar Sean is a fucking weapon in his own right. And the dude is a striker. Like, both these dudes, it's going to be there's going to be fur flying. It is going to be a dog fight. So I think I almost kind of, I want to lean Sugar Sean because the dude gets real baked. He is the fourth Wright brother. So I part of me wants to lean Sugar Sean. And the fact that he just fucking slept Takanori Gomi, who's an absolute pride legend, makes me want to lean Sugar.
Okay. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 on UFC 292 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's this Saturday, only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance, opt-in, and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. All right, it's time for another Baseball is Dead parlay where I automatically get it right and we see if the rest of the dickheads on this show can match my energy. Sarah, the winning bet for me is Corbin Carroll, 2+ total bases. That's an easy one. The DBacks are going up against Chris Flexen tonight. 20 appearances, 7 starts, a 7.92 ERA, and a 194 whip. So he's struggling. And Corbin Carroll this year, 5th in the big leagues in slugging percentage against right-handed pitching, 567 slugging percentage. Only Shohei, Mateo, Julio Daniel Martinez, and Ronald Acuna Jr. have been better against right-handed pitching this season than Corbin Carroll. So it is Corbin Carroll, 2+ total bases. Dallas?
Well, I'm battling here. Because Max Scherzer.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, it's been a week. It's been 1 week. I like the Rangers plus 114 with the -1.5 run line. They got Scherzer on the mound. The problem is he's going against Patrick Sandoval, who's been throwing the piss out of the baseball lately. So I'm not quite sure about that. You could take the -175 money line on that game, but I feel like I don't know how much value I'm bringing to the table. So I've been looking at the Mariners against the Royals. They're flying into town. The Seamen have Logan Gilbert on the tit, and Brady Singer is on the bump for the Kansas City Royals. I think I like the Mariners money line in that game.
Okay, Mariners money line. Joseph?
Well, Clark Schmidt.
Clark Schmidt.
Yeah.
Clark 6.5 strikeouts. Taking the over.
No, but he's facing the Atlanta Braves, and so struggles against lefties. You know, you could say Matt Olson hits a home run. You could probably bank that, but a guy like me on a parlay like this, I like to go for the shirt thing. And you got Michael Harris being overlooked. Michael Harris gets a hit.
Okay. Also, aren't you guys getting Luis Severino in this series as well? That game is going to be 19-0 by the second.
Lucky.
Lucky. Jay, hey.
All right. Looking for a bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to go with the fighting Astros on the road against the Marlins today. Money line, Astros to win. It's Framber Valdez, Braxton Garrett. Astros are 6th in MLB in weighted runs created plus against lefties overall this season. And over their last 19 games against lefties, they have a 302 batting average and a 944 OPS. And Braxton Garrett himself has a 5.35 ERA since the beginning of July. I'm going Astros to win.
I'd be nervous about that. The Marlins got their swagger back.
Yeah, the Yankees help them out.
So they got it back against the Reds. You see Jazz Chisholm slapped that man on his ass after the home run.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Ashcraft had some words to say to Jazz. You know, Jazz comes back in the lineup already. You know, he's an electric. What's the word? What happens when you die and then you got to shock the defibrillator?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, defibrillator.
So Jazz, his new nickname is the defibrillator. Comes back in the lineup and he fucking.
I like that.
Starts a little problem. Gets people hyped up. Beat the Reds 2 games. Beat the Yankees. Marlins are hot.
How's he do it, Joe?
I'm so glad we have someone like Joe here to do things that make high people laugh. Like no one else is laughing at that besides Dallas.
No, several people just rewound that and listened to it again.
They're baked too.
That's all good.
Not to bring the vibes down, but I feel like we at least have to hit on the Wander thing, right? We gotta at least acknowledge that that's happening.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of details that I think still probably need to be hashed out. There's a lot of information and context that needs to be added to the situation, I think. But I think on the surface, you just look at it and you can assess that this is not a great situation.
No, pretty serious allegations regarding Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco. If you haven't seen or heard about them, type in his name on Twitter. You'll find out pretty quickly what's going on over there. But Jeff Passan tweeted late last night. What time was this? Like 11:30 Eastern PM. Tampa Bay shortstop Wander Franco did not travel on the team plane to San Francisco, where the Rays will start a series with the Giants tomorrow, sources tell ESPN. The Rays earlier said MLB is doing, quote, due diligence concerning social media posts from earlier today about Franco. MLB is looking into the social media posts and is yet to verify the information. This early in the process, without confirmed facts, Franco could be placed on the restricted list or administrative leave. The Rays, when asked about Franco not being on the plane, declined comment. So, this is one of those situations where, because I remember when the Trevor Bauer stuff happened, that I was getting shit from like people in my life being like, "How are you going to stay silent? How are you not saying anything about this?" It's like the news just came out. Like you can tweet whatever you want, but when you have a show and a platform, you have to wait for all the information to come out before you comment on something like that. Obviously, we weren't going to not acknowledge it, but we don't have all the information. Jeff Passan, as far as I know, is the only reporter to like officially acknowledge it. Right? Did anyone else acknowledge it?
I haven't seen anything. No, I mean just different outlets, different papers.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. Like I haven't seen anything from Buster Olney. I haven't seen anything from Ken Rosenthal.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a very serious story with very serious implications if the information ends up being confirmed. So it's something that we're going to put a pin in. We'll circle back when we get more information. But for now, yeah, that seems like a very not good situation for both Wander Franco and the Tampa Bay Rays, who, what was that contract? 177 million? Was it more than that?
Yeah, no, that's
Like
what
189, I believe.
182.
Look at that.
There you go.
11-year, 182 could be worth up to 223 million. I'm reading this on amny.com. And they have the Rays statement. Did you read? You didn't read the Rays statement, did you?
I think I saw a tweet about it, maybe.
Yeah, the Rays statement says, during today's game, we were made aware of the social media posts that are circulating regarding Wander Franco. We take the situation seriously and are in close contact with Major League Baseball as it conducts its due diligence. So that was the Rays' statement on the matter. And this report reads that on his Instagram Live, Franco denied the allegation, saying, "They say that I'm in public with a little girl, that I'm running around with a minor. People don't know what to do with their time. They don't know what they're talking about. That's why I prefer to be on my side and not get involved with anybody." End quote. So again, this is coming from amny.com. Joe Pintorno, it looks like.
Yeah, I saw him doing an Instagram Live, but it was all in Spanish. So
that's the problem with this stuff, is like all this stuff is coming out in Spanish, and like getting it over to the English, to the media. I think it's like harder to get information on it. I had no idea it did Instagram Live.
Yeah, did an Instagram Live, and he didn't seem overly concerned about the situation because Jose Siri was like dancing in the background.
What?
Just was not overly concerned, I don't think. So we'll circle back when we get more information. As of right now, that's all we got. And I'm sure that we'll have some clarity in the coming days. Did you see this Kowloon story, Dallas?
No. What? What happened? What happened? Is Kowloon okay? Let's start there.
Kowloon is okay. Kowloon is okay, but if you were in the area this weekend, you might not be okay because they are shutting down Kowloon on Saturday because just for Saturday.
Okay.
Because someone is having a private wedding ceremony at Kowloon.
At the Loon?
Yes.
Wow. Hitched at the Loon.
Yes. And I only knew about this because I keep getting tagged, people saying congratulations
that you're getting married at the
Yes.
Oh.
For the first time in its history, the Kowloon restaurant on Route 1 in Saugus will close this weekend for a private wedding.
Jared.
Not a reception, a whole ass wedding.
A whole ass wedding. We're exchanging nuptials and getting chow mein.
Yeah.
Like it's whatever you need. That is fabulous. You're missing the boat on something. Do you realize what we could be doing across the land if you would just become a brother of the cloth with me?
An ordained minister?
Yes.
So I've been asked to do that a couple of times.
Yeah, you need to get ordained so we can travel the globe and bring holy matrimony to baseball fans.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I've definitely been asked, and there was one point, I think it was the 2020 spring training where we were supposed to go to Florida and then it didn't happen. I think I was supposed to marry two people down in Florida, but then we didn't end up going.
I'm married. I'm 1-0. My record's 1-0. So that's a pretty stellar winning percentage. We're gonna start there. But yeah, exchanged nuptials with a group in the Oakland Coliseum. So I got to marry them at the ballpark.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. I feel like I do a good job at that. But I just want to make sure that I look good while I'm doing it, which is where Indochino comes into play.
For sure. They'll take care of you.
Looking sharp all wedding season. That shouldn't be an expensive thing. With a custom fitted suit from Indochino, you'll create priceless memories without costing a fortune. Customize every single detail on your suit, shirt, dinner jacket, and more in a range of colors from a traditional black or gray to burgundy or olive to a classic Hemsworth navy. Put it this way. If you want me to marry you and your spouse, you got to let me know in a decent amount of time so I can head on over to Indochino, get a nice little suit, tailor made. I got like a very distinct shape. Like I'm not like I can't just go and buy something off the rack. I'm very uniquely shaped these days.
He's about as long as he is
like
wide.
5'11", 5'11", with I don't know why you're laughing at that. Why are you laughing at that?
I had a great time last night talking about how because somebody asked me, because I was talking about going to Hungary for hair plugs or whatever the fuck they do in Turkey. There you go, Turkey. And they're like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, almost as ridiculous as wanting to get metal rods planted into your legs. And they're like, is that even real? Who would even go to that extent? And, and I said, hey, you know what? Don't
There's
judge.
a market.
All right. Don't judge. There is a market.
There's a market out there. Just like there's a market for suits, but you better choose Indochino because every suit is made to your exact measurements and you can customize every single detail. Create a suit that fits for you and your style perfectly with options for fabrics, lapel-shaped custom monograms, statement linings, and more. They also have tuxedos starting at just $579. Why rent when you could buy a custom tux that you can rewear for years to come? Indochino also offers completely customized fitted shirts, casual wear, and more. Get a superior wardrobe personalized to your style and taste without the luxury price tag. They're always adding new pieces and options so you can stay on trend and in style. Explore their relaxed yet refined approach to spring suits with their new spring fabrics. RSVP, knowing that you've got the perfect look all wedding season from Indochino. Go to Indochino.com, use the promo code DEAD, DEAD, to get 10% off of any purchase of $399 or more. That is INDOCHINO.com, promo code DEAD. Yeah, there are a couple of a lot of drama stories on the episode today, or especially over the weekend. This is from the New York Post. Do you see this about Justin Verlander?
What do you got? Fire away. I think I may have saw it.
Justin Verlander's diva attitude didn't sit well with Max Scherzer and some Mets. Diva. I mean, if you're a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. And he was the only pitcher on the staff that was worth a damn. Like, what do you mean he's a diva?
Well, it's a so Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, two very
their problems
different
go way back to Detroit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they're two very different personalities, right? Like Max is the guy who's telling his manager to not fucking touch him in the dugout. Like, it's your fucking hand. Don't fucking touch me. Don't like. He's that dude. Like on his start day, on his work day, he's an absolute psycho. Just an absolute psycho. Yeah. And Justin Verlander is just not that dude. Right? He's different than that. Well, and you have Verlander going from where he came from in Houston. And this is one of the basis of their, diva assessment is that Verlander was continually measuring what the resources were where he had come from and comparing those to what the resources he had at the time were. And that can, I think, rub guys the wrong way. We call that, hey, like, buddy, cut the fucking rope at some point in time. Like, you're going to have to cut the rope, meaning the rope that is tying you and this organization together. Like, you're going to have to cut it, like cut the cord. Come on, dude. Like,
well,
you're with us now.
This is the rest of the story. The two likely future Hall of Famers who look to work towards harmony, a source told the Post, Mike Puma, after they didn't have the best relationship when they pitched for the Tigers from 2010 to 2014, still had some bumps in their relationship this season. A Met told Puma that Verlander was a, quote, diva who was detached from his Mets teammates and complained about how the team's analytics department was not at the level as the one he worked with during his first stint with the Astros. And it was that, quote, diva attitude that caused Scherzer to grumble some about Verlander. It was a different vibe than last year's rotation had, as Scherzer and Chris Bassett were free in offering information to the team's other young pitchers. Nevertheless, the Mets let Bassett walk in the offseason to the Blue Jays as the club brought in Verlander, Jose Quintana, and Kodai Senga.
So let me just I'll just lay this out for you, okay? think about the type of personality that you might think Chris Bassett has, or if you've spoken to Chris. I don't know if any of you guys have talked to Bassett, but if
Chris
you
Bassett is
talk
a
to
no
him,
bullshit kind of guy.
and I'm going to ask you guys, who do you think Chris Bassett gravitated towards when it was time to go to work in that Mets rotation?
Probably Scherzer.
That's a great guess, Jared. That's a great guess. And you can start to quickly see the difference in personalities, and it's not knocking any one of these guys. But I think you probably have a guy like Scherzer who just gives you the impression that he's more of a, let's figure this shit out. Like, I can get to work in the bullpen. Like, I'll get the slider down. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, I have the resources that I have, and that's going to help me figure this out. But I'm a big leaguer. I can do this. I've been doing this. And then he is listening to somebody who is first ballot Hall of Famer the minute he hangs him up, but is maybe saying, yeah, I'd really like to have this information, but I don't have it. And I think if I had this, I could be better. And I think, and so you got the, maybe more rough around the edges guy going, what the fuck? Do you really need the camera? Do you really need the numbers? Do you really need so that's where I think, maybe fairly or unfairly, Justin Verlander gets labeled the diva, because he's somebody who has valued the data because of what it has done for him. He's seen it unfold in real time, how you can be successful when you have the resources to assess yourself day in, day out at a high level, at a detailed level. And he operates that way. So that suits him. And Max Scherzer maybe just doesn't operate that way. And so those are two guys going about their job very differently, but getting very, very similar results. I mean, you got two alphas. Those are two fucking alphas, man.
It's two alphas.
Like, straight up.
Also, by the way, like when I saw the headline, I didn't think I would find myself on Team Verlander, but I think I am. And that's not because I do a podcast with a Verlander wannabe. It's because I'm on Justin Verlander's side in this story. It is I mean, if he
I'm gonna punch you in the head.
If he goes to the Mets and he's like, hey, you guys just gave me $43 million to be a part of a championship organization pursuit. And you guys, like, it's like, I just traveled back in time. Like, I just came from the Houston Astros organization, and say what you want about the cheating, but we have a legit ring that we just won, and we're in the ALCS 7 straight fucking years. We know what we're doing over there. Then I come over here, and everyone's talking about how the Mets are a dumpster fire and this and that, and it was the ownership. But it's like, the way that you're looking at baseball and preparing your players for 162 games, you're doing it in a way that's archaic. Like, hello, like, help me help you. And
well, and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I understand his frustration. Like, if you're coming from the Astros organization, it's like, we've got this, and it's proven because we just won a World Series, and you've got this, and you haven't won a World Series since 1986. Then, like, hello, let's catch up with the times here. How are you? I would be aggravated with how far behind they were.
Well, and that's the thing is, let's say that Justin Verlander and myself are on the same pitching staff, and I walk in there after being acquired, and I'm telling them just how far behind they are. And they're not looking at me like a first ballot Hall of Famer. Maybe they're not valuing my input because I don't have the black ink on my baseball reference page that Justin Verlander does. So then you would like to think that when Justin Verlander walks into that room and says the same shit I'm saying, that you would go, oh, well, you know what? At the bare minimum, that's two of our pitchers that have felt this way. One of them, low-level guy's fucking lucky to have a locker. The other guy's going to Cooperstown, and he's saying the same shit. Like, are we going to listen to anybody? Like, are you not going to value that at all? But Jared, it goes a step beyond that. Culture is a very real thing. It can make up for the lack of talent. It can make up for the lack of resources, but it can also enhance to another level. When you've got a lot of different people all pulling in the same direction, that have the same priorities, and that are messaging the same way, from the kids in A-ball to the big leagues and everywhere in between, and the idea is just about getting them better and maximizing them, it's a symbiotic relationship. I understand you have the resources and the information to get me better, and you understand that you want that for me. So it's basically like, let's just use each other. Sound good? Let's just use the shit out of each other. You make me better, and I'll put the pedal to the metal, baby.
Am I misreading this by thinking that whoever called Verlander a diva has like a little bit of jealousy going on?
Yeah,
because
not at all.
Because if I'm me, right, like I'm a pitcher in the Mets rotation, and I've been there the whole time, and maybe I'm looking around being like, I'm kind of mediocre. I want to be better. I think as a team we can be better. And then Justin Verlander walks into the clubhouse and is like, guys, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we need to be better in this, and this. And I'm thinking to myself, listen to this guy. Like, it's not like it's some slapdick walking in there being like, what kind of operation are we running here? It's a dude that's got multiple Cy Youngs. It's a dude that's got MVPs. It's a dude that's pitched in the postseason, won World Series titles. Like, that's a guy that I'm like, all right, if he's saying it, then why are we not listening to him? Instead of calling him a diva, maybe we hear him out and be like, yeah, like we should be doing it different around here. What the fuck? Like, he didn't walk into a fucking organization with a rich tradition of winning championships. Like, if he's telling you it's done different over there, and over there is a place that wins championships and goes to the LCS every single year, instead of calling him a diva, how about we just fucking listen to him?
Because there's always pushback when it comes to having somebody new come in
think that
and
you're better than us.
Present new ideas. Yeah, it can come off condescending. You know, like guys, like I get it. We're all playing baseball here, but is this really how you guys are playing baseball still? Like, you haven't even thought about this stuff that I'm talking about. So then it becomes a situation where if you're still using an abacus, but I'm trying to teach you how to use a fucking graphing calculator or AI, and you're just like, no, the abacus is fine. Like, then it's like, okay, look, you're rooted in what you're going to do, and that's how you're going to do it. But I have seen the other side. I've seen the results with this damn thing, and I'm going to roll this way. Okay. I'm going to teach the guys how to use this thing. So appreciate the abacus. Tuck that in. I'll see you on my way to the fucking postseason every year. But there's also an example of this happening prior to a Justin Verlander. Think about Trevor Bauer once again, coming out of college into pro ball with his body blade and his arm care routines and his long toss routines and his weighted ball routines. And people were looking at him like he was a fucking cyclops. And you can have your opinions about him personally, but as far as him sticking to his script and doing the outlier things that people had opinions about, well, put him in a pretty decent position to earn a pretty decent living based on his productivity and having not strayed from what he was doing. So, diva, okay, on my way to a 10-figure contract? Sure, diva.
You guys said it right off the bat. Hall of Fame pitcher is a little high maintenance, weather at 11. It's just like, I clicked on that article, and frankly, I was disappointed. I was like, I'm going to get something salacious here because it's the New York Post, and it was just a big nothing burger. It's slow news.
For me, it's no
slow news
shit.
day for a slow team. Yeah, no shit. Exactly. And anybody who didn't know that Justin Verlander came with a little bit of that over the previous, like, whatever it's been, 17 seasons, 18 seasons, just wasn't paying any attention. I'm not saying he's a bad dude. I'm just saying, like, he's arguably the greatest pitcher of his generation. Right. Do you think previous versions of that were not a little high maintenance in their own way? Randy Johnson certainly was. Pedro Martinez certainly was. Roger Clemens has his own things going on.
We know Kurt Schilling, Jay Hay, on a different level.
Yeah, plenty of things going on there then and now. Putting aside what Kurt is right now, like there was nobody who was under the impression that he was like a lovable clubhouse favorite when he was in Philadelphia or Arizona, right? Like he was at the peak of his powers, and he behaved like a lot of pitchers behave when they are at the peak of their powers. Like, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I that's kind of where I fall on at least the depiction of Justin Verlander is, of all the human beings on the planet Earth right now, there are like different rules for different people. And when you're Justin Verlander and you've won World Series titles and you've won MVPs and Cy Young awards, and you're gonna you already know that you're gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, like you can carry yourself in a different way, and I don't think that he does it in an obnoxious way. Like there are definitely guys in our game, or just in professional sports, where it's like, motherfucker, like who's the fucking asshole that pretends that thinks that he's Gronk on the Chiefs?
Whoa, buddy, you talking
Travis
about?
Kelce.
First of all, Travis Kelce doesn't think
that
he's
dude,
Gronk.
Oh yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's fucking.
Wow,
he's a Gronk.
The
wannabe.
hate. I mean, he's a fucking
Gronk
baller.
wannabe.
Put some respect on the name, Jared.
You can
Put
still
some
be good.
respect
And
on the name.
Imagine if you took his personality and put it in Justin Verlander, how much everyone would hate Justin Verlander.
I don't know, man. I fucking I love Kelce.
No, yeah, well, that's 'cause
Yeah,
you're
people
an
like
asshole.
that guy. Maybe if you said Antonio
People
Brown,
don't like
you
that
could
guy.
have said Antonio Brown.
Maybe people in your group, in your world.
Travis Kelce, that is gimmick infringement. He is just like, oh, what Gronk did works. I'll just do that, and that's what he's doing.
What, get touchdowns?
Outside of football, he's a Gronk wannabe. Anyways, he doesn't act like that. Verlander doesn't act like that for the most part. Like he's not insufferable.
Because
the only thing insufferable that's ever come out of the Verlander camp is when Kate Upton will complain on behalf of him when he doesn't win Cy Young awards. But on the other side of it, she's actually not wrong.
She's been
right.
justified in that.
Yeah.
She's been justified in
When
that.
she's spoken up, being like, what the fuck? Like, he should have won the Cy Young award. Spot the lie, you know? But
well, listen, when you walk around, like when you're a pitcher like that, you're walking around with the presence of a
by the way,
pilot.
Dallas would defend Travis Kelce as a Ben Verlander wannabe himself. Like he's like, what's wrong with stealing people's bits? What's wrong with taking on someone else's gimmick? But go ahead.
You're walking around with a fighter pilot mentality. That's what you're doing. And that's what Verlander does, because you're making shit move and dance and do things better than anybody on the planet can. And you know that. And the numbers back that up. So when you have that to support why you do the things you do, I don't believe anybody reserves the right to question you.
Yeah.
How about this?
It's
What
almost
if
like the scene from A Few Good Men. I would rather you just say thank you and go on about your day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joe?
Never mind. I was
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, what if his ERA gets worse with the Astros with all this new data that he has? And if he's giving the Mets shit, being like, well, where's the freaking calculators or whatever? Then he gets the calculators.
Say, I'm fucking 40, dude. Like I just had a sub 2 last year in my age 38 season. Like, give me a goddamn break. Like, I don't think it's apply the data because I'm in the prime of my career. It's like the dude is as old as Dallas.
Wow.
I mean, am I wrong?
Wow.
He's older. He's older than Dallas.
He's older. He's fucking older. That's old gray balls.
Yeah. Yeah. That's up there. I don't know how the fuck he's still throwing major league pitches. So if he goes back to Houston and it's not a sub 2, are you going to be disappointed, Joe?
Me personally, I would be. No, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Okay.
You,
I was
you
saying
can
I
live
might
with
be.
him just aging gracefully.
Yeah.
Is that
Like,
okay?
Yeah. You good at that?
I'm fine with him, man. He's done enough for me, and he's got nothing left to prove in my camp. All right, a guy
No, he
like
really
me,
doesn't.
I
Good
respect
to hear.
good baseball.
That's good to hear.
Good to
And,
hear.
He's got my nod of approval.
Pitch for fucking 20 seasons in the big leagues, size and MVPs and rings. You know, it'll do. It's adequate.
That'll
This
play.
is a good run.
He's earned my respect.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got your respect. That's good. If you want to go see Justin Verlander pitch, you can do that as well. Use the Game Time app if you do. Head on down to Houston. Maybe see him on the road. I think the Astros come right, Jake. Do the Astros come here soon, right?
Yeah, I think we go Astros, Yankees, and Astros back here.
Yeah, the Astros come here. Yeah. So next week, We go to Houston the week after Houston comes here. So I can catch up with my pal, Alex Bregman. Second best offensive player in Major League Baseball the year that I struck him out on camera. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, theater near you. Also, with killer deals on last-minute tickets with their best price guarantee. We call it the Bob Guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun that you'll have. I got people asking me left and right about this Morgan Wallen concert. You're like, oh, can you get me tickets? Can you get me tickets? Be like, bro, just go on Game Time. Like, why are you asking me for tickets when you can just go on the Game Time app and get awesome prices on great seats? Are you a Morgan Wallen guy, Dallas? I feel like you probably might be.
No, I don't. Like, I'll be honest. I mean, I know he's a big star, big country music star, but yeah. I honestly, I've had a hard time getting back on the country music bandwagon because it just feels like there's a moment until like a decade where it was just like pop, and I'm a fan of the old school country music.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not saying Morgan Wallen fits into that category. I don't know his stuff.
Yeah. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone so you never have to dig through your email. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code Jared, Jared, and that'll get you $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code Jared. That'll get you $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Bob Guarantee. By the way, why didn't any of the Bob Guerin drama make it into the Dallas Braden video, Joe?
It's really too much. Yeah, there's just very deep things. It goes the layers, so many layers. That's something that just saying out loud would probably put, my life in danger, Dallas's life. And yeah, it's just something I'd get demonetized. I get taken off YouTube because it's that
right,
serious.
Age restricted.
Oh yeah, it's
in your research that you did for the video. What dirt did you dig up on the Bob Guerin versus Dallas Braden feud?
Honestly, Dallas got pulled a little early a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Showed some attitude on camera that I caught.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something. I didn't ask about that. I know that he was banned from wearing his natural hair afro on Throwback Day, which we've covered. So those are 2 things that could be it. There's also other things that we just can't talk about.
Okay.
Big things.
Big things. Wow. Dallas, how has the now that it's been a little bit, I'm sure, how many views is it up to, Joe?
It's like 500,000 something.
Oh damn. Now that 500,000 people have seen that video, what has the reaction been like for you, Dallas?
Well, a lot of my friends were like, damn, didn't think you would talk about that. And then other people were like, obviously, like, fuck, had no idea. Crazy. But yeah, I think that was probably the biggest reaction. And I hope people understand, like, my story is not so much different than a lot of other people trying to do whatever it is they want to do, having to make sacrifices. And, you feel like the world sometimes is kind of up against you and just fucking whooping your ass daily. But you just try to find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, my story is not different than most other people. I just, grew up in poverty and barely graduated high school, didn't get into a college, and threw a perfect game in Major League Baseball. I'm just like you. I'm just like you guys.
Well, hey, we all have our paths. But it was it's been revealing, I guess, to a lot of people.
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people just don't understand, some of the shit that you have to go through or don't really know. I mean, it's not like I've had a fucking TED talk about how I grew up or anything. So this was very revelatory for a lot of people.
I mean,
and a lot of my coaches reached out.
Have they?
Yeah, like my junior college coaches, they were that obviously were a part of and saw that all unfold firsthand. They're like, yeah, like I just kind of like, yeah, I'm sure that feels good to maybe get out. I'm sure, maybe that did something for you. So just to like reconnect and talk to those guys, also cool.
I got a comment from allegedly the guy who stole home in the Stockton Clash beatdown game.
Really?
Yeah, someone commented, "That was me. I stole home."
I don't want to. Here, I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you his name, and I'm going to see if it.
I don't know. I don't think it was an account with a name. It was like a random account. But I did screenshot it.
Text me. Yeah. Screenshot it. Send me the account. Because like when me and the homies get together, like anybody from that team will, we always talk about that story because of how ludicrous it is and people don't believe it.
That is pretty ludicrous. Jay, is there anything else that we missed?
Missed? No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I've got like end of pod nugs if that's where we're at, but
let me ask you guys this. No, let me ask you guys this though. Because we've talked a lot about Ohtani and what the projection in the offseason looks like, what that whole song and dance is going to unfold as. Does him having a start pushed back due to arm fatigue do anything for you? Does that raise any flags? Does that do anything at all? Is this a cause for concern? I mean, I'm not talking like, oh my God, is he hurt? Is he? But remember, the one thing that I have always talked about is how detailed taking care of Shohei Ohtani actually is and how much work actually goes into that. And if you're a potential suitor of Shohei Ohtani, is something like this already giving you pause where you have to go back and go, all right, look, you know what? It's the end of the season. He's a little fatigued. Like, are we starting to see? Are we starting to see the impact of him playing every day a couple years in a row now? Like, does this do anything for you, or is this a bro? He's just had his start pushed back because he pitches and hits every fucking day. So, we're just giving him a breather.
To me, it's close to a nothing burger, and like in the era of when pitchers would give you 200 or 220 innings a year, and that was your expectation out of a frontline guy. Maybe that is a different conversation, but in an era where you can be the best pitcher on your team and throw 140 to 160 innings in a year, that coupled with the fact that my immediate reaction when I saw that was not a reflection on Ohtani, but a reflection on, once again, how thin the margin for error was for the Angels in their decision to go for it. Because not only was it resting on Ohtani so heavily because of his greatness that any sort of sidetrack was going to throw them completely off. And it just so happens that this Ohtani sidetrack happened after their playoff odds were already kind of dead and buried. But that to me was another thing that, like, it was always just resting on such a fragile foundation. But to me, as in terms of Ohtani, no, it's a management thing. And I think he probably also realizes where the Angels are at in this picture right now. And to whatever degree he's self-maintenancing, or like makes the call for when he will be pitching and won't be pitching, there might be some of that going on too, because the Angels, it's over. And we're all on the same page.
I think that's got to be what it is. Because Shohei's they always say like it's really up to him when he pitches, when he rests, all that. And he's been playing every single game. He's taken like 3 rest days or something crazy. low. And his fingers are cramping. He's cramping in his back every single game. And it's
his
like
legs was there's a couple weeks ago where bases loaded, and Ohtani did not hit because he had cramps in his legs.
But that Joey's point to me is a great reminder, because when Shohei Ohtani was going to be a permanent pitcher and a permanent hitter, I always envisioned more off days coming for him on both sides. I thought he'd take more off days hitting, and you would just see him 4 or 5 days a week, and you would have more starts skipped throughout the season. And the fact that he has done that less and less frequently as the years have gone on, and particularly on offense, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it seems like the man is playing not only when he pitches, of course, but he's also playing the day following pitching, I think way more than he used to. And if you sign him to a long-term deal and you have Shohei Ohtani under an 8 or 10 or 12-year pact, then yes, maybe you come up with a plan that is a little bit more prohibitive when it comes to his single season usage, right? Or his usage pattern throughout the season, because it's now your investment. We also have to remember that the Angels were going for a playoff spot with Ohtani's contract expiring. So to some degree, their priority was, probably not now, but was maximizing their opportunity to win baseball games right now, right? And the team that signs Ohtani will be balancing the $500 or $600 million investment that they've made with the priority of winning baseball games in May, June, or July of a given season.
I mean, every time you hear Ohtani get interviewed, and he says it constantly, like, what's your goal? He's like, I just want to stay healthy. He says that nonstop. That's like seems to be very important to him. And he's pitching through all this shit when they're competing, because I think he's been tired and still pitched through it. But now it's like pretty obvious they're not making the playoffs. I could see that decision being made. Like, I am freaking tired as fuck. I should take the day off. And there's no reason not to. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's like he's got a fucking bad shoulder that might need surgery, so he's got to miss a start, because I don't think it's that.
Absolutely, it's no, not at all. That's why I posed the question, because I know that this is Shohei Ohtani going, look, hey, the scoreboard says what it says, okay? And the reason that my health is paramount to me is because I am 2 players in one. And I am so impactful that if I'm just not feeling great here, it impacts 2 players. It doesn't impact just one, it impacts 2 players. So my health has to be prioritized, because if I'm healthy, I help any team get that much closer to a World Series championship. So, and I also get that much closer to signing $1 billion contract.
And just as a secondary, fallout, this is where paying the price that they did for Lucas Giolito becomes doubly painful, because the expectation when you're acquiring Giolito, forget winning the World Series or winning playoff games, is that he will be making 6 to 8 high leverage starts for you down the stretch of the season, if not more, if not 10. And the reality is that if we're gonna reduce it to, is this guy pitching or playing in games that quote unquote matter in August and September, the answer is that they paid a price to acquire a frontline pitcher to pitch in games that pretty much won't matter now. And they got 2 or 3 starts out of Giolito, 2 before their odds were so low that they were rendered an afterthought. And that's why the prospect cost hurts, because I have absolutely no idea what that prospect is going to become. And I don't think anybody on this pod really does, but the chance of him becoming a 6-year starter for the White Sox is a brutal turn of events to get 2 starts out of Lucas Giolito that ended up mattering to your season.
Hey, when it happened, we all said it. It's a risk. We're pumped. It's cool they're going for it, but it was definitely a risk.
Now you see why.
Yeah.
That is sad. I would call Max, but I don't.
No, what's he got to say? There's nothing left for him to say.
No,
the next check-in with Max should be in the off season.
Yeah. He,
no offense.
And it's announced.
Yeah.
He just got surgery on his leg too, so he's all fucked up on drugs too. Like, there's no way that those takes are gonna be
solidarity with Anthony Rendon, huh?
Yeah. He basically he didn't even have an injury, but he just went and got the surgery that Anthony Rendon needs. Just just so he can firsthand experience what Rendon's going through.
Just sympathy ACL surgery.
Arguing with the nurse and doctor about whether Rendon is a star.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he's doing. But that's why he's the king of Halo's Twitter. So he's willing to go to lengths that no one else even thought to go. Never mind, wouldn't dare to go. They didn't even think about that lane. I'm gonna get season-ending surgery in solidarity with Anthony Rendon.
It's a hell of a play. Hell of a play.
All right. Final thoughts, Dallas?
Yeah, baseball aside, I just want to let the folks know in Hawaii, because Hawaii is an extremely baseball rich culture. They have an incredible baseball culture in the chain of the islands. Having lived on Oahu for almost a year, I had the opportunity to work with little kids every day and to work with high school kids. And their love for sport, their love for just competition is truly only surpassed by the love of their culture. And to watch what has unfolded on the island of Maui is fucking devastating. And it is heart-wrenching to think that multiple towns and, Lahaina is just gone, completely gone. And I mean, trust me, I'd love to have another platform where I could go in and talk about why an area like that has been just obliterated. But that's not for this podcast. So I just want to let the folks know in Hawaii, in the chain, that my heart is with you. The Ohana is strong. Keep your head up, man. That's as somebody who's been a part of wildfires and felt the impact, I know how bad that sucks. So if it's baseball at any point in time that can alleviate the stress or just get you away from what you're going through, I hope that baseball can serve that purpose. But I know there's a lot of big leaguers that are from Hawaii, Shane Victorino, Kurt Suzuki, Brandon League, just to name a few.
Colton
Wong. Yeah. Did I say Shane Komine?
No. Shane
Komine, the Hawaiian Punch-Out. I mean, there's more that I know I'm overlooking, not intentionally, but yeah, there's strong baseball ties to the islands, and I know they're hurting right now.
Joseph?
How about Mr. Trey Turner?
Is he back? Are you gonna say it?
He's been back. Okay.
Oh.
Philly, the city of brotherly love. They came together and said, let's not be fucking pieces of shit for once in our whole fucking lives. Let's actually be something fucking nice and not fucking call everyone an asshole and boo everybody. They said, we're going to give him a standing ovation. The Philly captain. Shout out to the Philly captain who started it. They gave him a standing ovation ever since. He's got a 1,207 OPS, slugging 744, batting 436.
You say numbers so fucking weird, dude.
1237.04. Holler.
Trying out numbers for the first time.
Yeah. Well, this is something that you guys don't understand when you're talking out loud. It's sometimes when you start doing numbers, audio, people have a hard time following them. So I'm trying to go slow.
It's an us thing.
Yeah. You guys aren't aware of it. I'm aware of it. I'm a professional communicator myself in my own right. So I'd like a little bit more,
communicator.
Respect.
Got it.
12. Like a little bit more respect.
1207 OPS. Okay.
Hey.
It's pretty good.
There you
go.
Think
you.
That
Look at you.
Guy learned what OPS is. Now he's showing off.
Yeah.
I'm learning new things every day.
Hey, but I mean, the Trey Turner thing, like, seriously, that's about as dope as it gets. Like, the Philly fans are like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to love you, dude. And he says, thank you. I'm going to hit a homer for you. And then he took out a billboard. He took out a billboard thanking the fans in Philly for the love and the support. And then what did he do again? Hit another bomb.
Listen, Joey slander aside, I believe Bryce Harper had a quote a week or two ago saying about the fans in Philly that he wished he had started his career there.
Yeah, he did say that.
So shout out to my people. Oh, is it on me now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
Also shout out to Joey for doing a little Tom Smykowski bit there. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you assholes understand that? All right. So
Who the fuck is that?
Office Space. Are you really? Tom Smykowski.
You've never seen Office Space, Joe?
I've heard of it. It's on my list. All right. I don't know.
Can't
It's
you?
on my list.
What would you say
Christ.
you do here?
Hey, I was just on the team bus and dropped a Dumb and Dumber line, and somebody responded with,
Didn't land.
"What's Dumb and Dumber?"
Nah, that's fucking
What?
bullshit.
Yeah,
that's honestly,
That's
I don't
great.
even care what it makes me sound like. That is a reflection on the person who didn't know the line. There are some movies that transcend generations, and that, as far as quotability, should be one of them.
Yeah, I
should
agree.
be the one.
Yeah, I mean, really, elite of the elite.
Both of those movies.
Yes, I agree. All right, quick nug dump here. I know, Jared probably doesn't want to hear this, but shout out to Aaron Judge, who in 15
Judgy? I fucking love Judgy. What are you talking about?
in 15 games since coming back and playing on 1 foot, 9 toes, whatever the count is, he has a 910 OPS and a 453 on base percentage. So he's basically doing like prime Votto, prime Bonds on base percentage stuff while playing on 1 foot. That's the 10th highest on base percentage over that stretch. So listen, he's clearly diminished. He's not hitting for quite as much power as he did beforehand, but the fact that he's back in the lineup and getting on base at a nearly 500 clip is, it's the only hope that offense has. Jose,
Jay, I mean, you rarely see players stand on the base with 2 feet anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Wow. Does he hit from the base or does he hit from home plate?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that that's all. Being on base with 1 foot, not that impressive.
I think I demonstrated my familiarity with the
Everybody
bases and the pitcher's mound and the rubber when Jared took us out on the field. I showed I was an expert there. Jose Altuve, since he came back, I know Jordan and all that stuff, but like Altuve has maybe been the best player in baseball since he came back from the IL. In 75 plate appearances, he's hitting .406 with a 1.134 OPS, 3 homers and 6 stolen bases. And then the Cleveland duo, I know the front office punted on the season. I know that they're down 60% of a starting rotation, but shout out to the people who are pitching in the starting rotation in their absence, because Gavin Williams and Tanner Beebe have been like fucking awesome. And that continued over the weekend, combined since late June, basically when Gavin Williams made his debut. They have combined for 110 innings with a 2.29 ERA over 19 starts. And for Williams specifically, his last 2 starts have shown a swing and miss that he did not through his first 8. Over his last 2, he has 22 strikeouts and 1 walk in 12 innings pitched. That goes with 6 hits. So he's basically been borderline untouchable. And since that late June mark, Tanner Beebe has the second best ERA in Major League Baseball behind only Blake Snell. So the pitching factory continues. While I think that's super encouraging for what it means for the future of the Guardians rotation and their ability to replenish, it actually makes me more angry that they didn't put something behind the 2023 version, because it's actually possible that despite the absence of Bieber and McKenzie and Quantrill, that this team's rotation still could have been good enough to win the AL Central if they had been given a little bit of help and not actively subtracted from the team. Final point, I just want to call out the series. There are a bunch of series starting either today or tomorrow, 5 by my count, that feature teams with legitimate playoff hopes. Astros, Marlins, Orioles, Padres, Rays, Giants, Phillies, and then tomorrow starts Phillies, Blue Jays, and Brewers, Dodgers. So a lot of good action.
Love that. I have a final thought this episode. Shout out to the Bourne Braves, back-to-back Cape League champs. The Bourne Braves were, yep. Where's they deserve a round of applause too. Back-to-back
Cape League champion, born Braves. A lot of good players, future major leaguers come out of the Cape League, specifically the Born Braves, the first Cape League team to take me in, wrap their arms around me, treat me as though I was one of their own. And I could have been in another life. I could have been a Born Brave. But instead, I had the honor of throwing out the first pitch for the back-to-back Cape League champs. So congrats to them. There were some fireworks last night in the championship game, too. There was, I don't know if you saw that clip. There was a gentleman hit a home run. Catcher didn't like it. There was almost a
little
skirmish.
fracas?
Yeah, fracas. Yeah. Almost some dukes getting put up over there.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Can I back that up with a double final thought?
Yeah, sure.
Back that ass up, Jay Hay.
Because I'm now seeing something that I had not seen before on Twitter. And while I am not going to defend Jeffrey Loria or his ownership of the Marlins, did you see his comments on Derek Jeter?
I did not.
Kind of not that important, really. But he said Jeter came in and destroyed the ballpark. Destroying public art was a horrible thing to do, in reference to removing the home run sculpture in center field. Yeah, it's his first.
And the fish tank. And the fish tank.
Yeah, Loria's first public comments since selling the team 7 years ago are available for anybody interested. But he dishes on a bunch of stuff, including the horrible, horrible thing that Derek Jeter did, according to him.
I agree with him.
I 100% agree with him. It's the only thing that mattered about that ballpark. And if you were going to be gaudy and Miami and the whole thing, that was the whole point of the home run thing. And now it's just a stadium that not many people go to.
Yeah.
No fish.
It was a pretty good turnout yesterday when they had that ninth inning comeback. Marlins, Jay Hay.
They're packing them in there like fish sticks, Jay Hay.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at that clip, the big time ninth inning comeback against the New York Yankees, Marlins fans
against the who? Against the who?
The New York Yankees.
Okay. We'll see what
they
their
were
attendance.
Marlins fans.
We'll see what their attendance goes back to. Yeah, Marlins fans.
Nope. You gotta look at the crowd. You gotta look at the crowd. They weren't just Yankees fans that were filling up those seats. Those were Marlins fans watching Marlins baseball.
I'll check the tape.
Check the tape. They went bonkers. Jake's takes?
Second to last in MLB in attendance this year, ahead of only the Oakland Athletics.
So last, because they're not a real team.
Right.
Go ahead, Jake.
We're on the schedule.
Red Sox heading down to DC to face the scrappy Nats. I just hope they do a little better than the A's.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love how everyone in Jake's comments feels perfectly baked.
Yeah.
Stayed in the oven for the exact right amount of time.
Yeah.
I am going to
scrappy
fucking
Nats.
assault two people the minute I see them.
Scrappy Nats. that series starts tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And we will be back with more Baseball is Dead on Wednesday. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you then.
We out.